The year is 2022, and the Brentwood, Los Angeles abode that legendary actress Betty White called home for 50 years is set to be demolished. As the news reverberates through the hearts of her countless admirers, the walls of this cherished building, ones that played witness to half a century of Hollywood history, are brought down, symbolizing the fleeting nature of architectural preservation in Tinseltown. Purchased by White and her husband Allen Ludden in 1968, this was more than a residence. Indeed, it was a sanctuary of memories, a bastion of the beloved star's personal and professional life. In today's episode, we will share the full tale of Betty White's life here. From her lovely days spent taking care of her beloved animals to the battle to save the building she held so dear, as we describe why Betty White's most beloved mansion was demolished. Betty White's Brentwood home, a colonial-style gem in one of Los Angeles' most coveted enclaves, was where the beloved actress, together with her husband, game show host Allen Ludden, called home for a half-century, starting in the 1960s. Now spanning 3,000 square feet, the home, built in the 1950s, occupies a generous 3/4 of an acre, a delightful mix of expansive serenity and seclusion. And the living room, a nucleus of the home's charm, was where Betty's natural flair for hosting shone. This space, a blend of understated elegance and warmth, invited both lively gatherings and quiet evenings with her beloved dogs. Plush sofas and armchairs, arranged around a grand fireplace, created an atmosphere that was both sophisticated and inviting. And the room's warm, neutral palette, soft creams and earthy tones, was a canvas for the abundant natural light streaming through large windows, with the intricate wood paneling basked in that sunlight, adding a layer of subtle grandeur. Now in the kitchen, a blend of practicality and style was evident, reflecting a space where Betty, renowned more for her wit than her culinary prowess, found joy in the simple rituals of tea-making and cookie-baking. The kitchen's classic white cabinetry, paired with a substantial central island, provided a functional yet cozy spot for casual meals or spontaneous gatherings. And above the island, copper pots and pans dangled with rustic charm, a nod to timeless design. Indeed, it was less about the act of cooking and more about the creation of memories, laughter echoing, the scent of baked goods wafting, and a sense of home permeating the space. Now the bedrooms were true personal retreats, each echoing Betty's penchant for comfort and individuality. The master suite, a tranquil hideaway, featured soft pastel walls and a plush king-sized bed draped in luxurious linens. Certainly, personal touches were everywhere. Family photos, career mementos, and a warmth that felt lived in rather than curated. The adjoining bathroom, with its clawfoot tub and vintage fixtures, offered a spa-like escape imbued with old-world charm. And Betty's private sanctuaries, including her study and a cozy reading nook, were filled with books and memorabilia that documented a life well lived. Built-in bookshelves groaned under the weight of literary treasures and glittering awards, while a comfy armchair by the window provided the perfect perch for a quiet afternoon of reading or simply soaking in the view of the lush gardens outside. Speaking of the gardens, the outdoor space was perhaps one of the most enchanting aspects of the Brentwood estate. A flat, grassy lawn stretched out, inviting leisurely outdoor activities, while a stone patio encircled a sparkling swimming pool, perfect for both entertaining and serene reflection. This outdoor haven undoubtedly brought joy to White, whose affection for animals and nature was well known. Thus, hidden behind secure gates, the property offered a secluded respite, ideal for someone like White, who sought tranquility away from the frenetic pace of Hollywood. In the next chapter, we'll feature why Betty White and her husband, at this point in their lives, chose this exactly idyllic locale to spend 50 years in. In the swinging 1960s, Betty White was already a household name, having made her mark on television both in front of and behind the camera. And by then, White was no longer just a rising star, but an established force who had been captivating audiences since the late 1930s. Her career, which began with radio performances, took a major leap in 1949 when she co-hosted Hollywood on television. This early exposure to live TV laid the groundwork for White to become one of the first women to produce a sitcom, Life with Elizabeth, in the early 1950s. Thus, she wasn't just breaking glass ceilings, she was practically redesigning the roof. Through the 1950s and into the early 1960s, White continued to make her presence felt across the television landscape. Whether on game shows like Password and Match Game, where her sharp wit and undeniable charm stole the show, or in her lead role on the sitcom Date with the Angels, White was the embodiment of television's golden age. By the mid-60s, she had become a staple on the game show circuit, lighting up screens with her quick humor and playful spirit on programs like What's My Line and To Tell the Truth. But White was more than just a talented entertainer. She was also a vocal advocate for social progress, championing causes like racial equality and gay rights at a time when such stances were far from mainstream. Then, the year 1968 marked a pivotal moment in White's personal life when she and her husband, Allen Ludden, purchased a home in Brentwood, Los Angeles. This wasn't just a real estate transaction. It was the start of a new chapter in White's life, as the Brentwood home would become her sanctuary for decades. You see, Brentwood in the mid-20th century was more than just another neighborhood. It was the chosen retreat for Hollywood's elite. As the 1950s and 60s unfolded, Brentwood transformed into a stylish enclave, attracting the industry's brightest stars with its blend of historical charm and modern architectural marvels. And this shift was emblematic of Southern California's broader suburban boom as the region became synonymous with innovation, creativity, and the emerging mid-century modern aesthetic. Brentwood wasn't merely keeping up with the mid-century modern movement, it was setting the pace. Architects like A. Quincy Jones and Whitney R. Smith were pivotal figures in this movement, particularly with their work on the Crestwood Hills project in Brentwood, a visionary community designed by the Mutual Housing Association to provide affordable, modern homes for young families. The project therefore became a landmark in post-war architecture, with homes characterized by concrete block foundations, redwood siding, and expansive glass windows that blurred the line between indoor and outdoor living. And, as Brentwood's architectural identity took shape, so too did its social fabric. Hollywood's biggest names began to flock to the area, drawn by the serene privacy that Brentwood offered, an idyllic escape from the fast-paced, spotlight-filled world of Los Angeles. This influx of stars added a touch of glamour to Brentwood, elevating it to the status of a coveted address among the entertainment industry's elite. Legends like Marilyn Monroe and Joan Crawford found refuge in Brentwood, with Monroe's home in particular achieving iconic status. Consequently, Betty White's move to Brentwood in 1968 with her husband Allen Ludden encapsulates this perfect blend of Hollywood glamour and peaceful residential living. Their Brentwood mansion wasn't just a place to reside, it was a retreat, a sanctuary where White could escape the limelight while remaining within arm's reach of the industry that had defined her illustrious career. Moving forward, let's dive a bit deeper into what day-to-day life as a star for Betty would have been like in this home. Betty White's career reached a dazzling peak with her unforgettable portrayal of Sue Ann Nivens on The Mary Tyler Moore Show. With a smirk as sharp as her wit, White breathed life into the happy homemaker, a character whose mix of sweetness and sass earned her 2 consecutive Emmy Awards in 1975 and 1976. Therefore, these years cemented White's reputation not just as a comedic genius, but as an actress with an uncanny ability to weave depth into even the most seemingly one-dimensional roles. And this success didn't just open doors, it knocked them off their hinges, leading to her own short-lived but memorable sitcom, The Betty White Show, in 1977. Amid the whirlwind of her professional life, White's personal life flourished in a way that seemed straight out of a Hollywood script. Her marriage to game show host Allen Ludden was a shining example of enduring love, the kind of relationship that left onlookers envious. Indeed, the couple was known for their playful dynamic, often described as acting like newlyweds, long after the honeymoon phase had officially ended. This Brentwood haven wasn't just a home. It was the epicenter of their social life, regularly hosting friends and family for warm, convivial gatherings. And while her career kept her in the limelight, Betty White found her true sanctuary within the walls of her Brentwood home, a place where she indulged her love for animals. Indeed, the house was a menagerie filled with beloved pets, dogs, cats, birds, that reflected her deep-seated commitment to animal welfare. And White's dedication to animals wasn't a side project. It was a core part of her identity. She truly threw herself into support causes, working with organizations like the Morris Animal Foundation and the Los Angeles Zoo, where she served as a trustee, ensuring her contributions had a lasting impact. Yet, in 1981, White faced the greatest challenge of her life when Allen Ludden passed away from stomach cancer, a loss that left her reeling. Certainly their marriage had been her anchor, a source of unwavering joy and companionship that spanned nearly 2 decades. And while the grief that followed was profound, but White made the poignant decision to remain in their Brentwood home, a place heavy with the memories of their life together. The house, which had seen so much laughter and love, became her refuge as she navigated this new chapter alone. White often spoke of Ludden with unshakable fondness, and famously remarked that after him there was no need to marry again. Her loyalty to his memory was reflected in the way she maintained their home, every room a testament to the life they had built together. Thus, in the years after Ludden's death, White's career did anything but slow down. Her portrayal of Rose Nyland on The Golden Girls became iconic, earning her even more accolades and solidifying her place in television history. Yet no matter how brightly the lights shone on her professional life, her Brentwood home remained her true north, a place where she could retreat from the world, surrounded by the memories of her time with Ludden and the warmth of her many pets. In the wake of Betty White's passing on the 31st of December 2021, her Brentwood residence became an unexpected focal point for her admirers, a site where her legacy seemed to linger even as the world moved on. Yet, by June 2022, the property exchanged hands for a notable $10.6 million, despite the somewhat peculiar stipulation that no prospective buyers were permitted to step foot inside. This was no real estate stunt. The value lay strictly in the land, with an understanding that the house itself was destined for demolition. And demolished it was, later that same year. By December, almost a year to the day after White's death, the house had been cleared, leaving behind only a few steadfast elements like the fireplaces, which were also marked for removal. The razing of the Brentwood home closed a chapter that spanned over 5 decades, during which the house served as White's retreat, her private haven away from the spotlight. Yet, in a twist that one might say is fitting for White's enduring charm, fragments of her cherished abode found new life in unexpected places. The most notable of these relics was the bright yellow front door, a distinctive feature that comedian Chelsea Lynn snapped up with plans to install it in her own home. This seemingly whimsical purchase ensured that a piece of White's personal history would continue to brighten another threshold, even as her former home vanished from the Brentwood landscape. Meanwhile, White's estate undertook the task of managing her affairs with a sense of duty to her enduring passions. Proceeds from the sale of her property and other assets were directed towards causes close to White's heart, particularly those benefiting animal welfare. True to White's lifelong dedication to animals, her estate made a substantial $150,000 donation to the Morris Animal Foundation, a gesture that kept her philanthropic spirit alive, even in her absence. And, as the Brentwood property was planned for demolition, fans of White found themselves swept up in a wave of nostalgia, turning to social media to share personal memories of the actress. Kirsten Michaelis, White's longtime assistant, and the steward of her Instagram account, kept fans informed of the developments surrounding White's beloved home. As the first anniversary of White's death loomed, McKellar shared a touching Instagram post featuring a stark image of the property, now reduced to bare ground with only the fireplaces standing sentinel, awaiting their fate. McKellar conveyed the poignant significance of the moment, noting the emotional weight of approaching the anniversary without the familiar presence of the Brentwood house. She wrote, "This is such a busy time of year, and coming up on the anniversary of Betty's passing is hitting in ways I hadn't anticipated. Her Brentwood home is no more, save the fireplaces, which will be gone in short order." And the post triggered a wave of responses from White's devoted fans, who expressed their sorrow over the loss of such an iconic piece of her life. Some questioned why the residence wasn't preserved as a memorial, a tangible tribute to the beloved actress. However, those close to White were quick to point out that she had been fully aware of the plans for the property and had made sure that the proceeds from its sale would continue to support the causes she held dear, particularly those focused on animal welfare. As the dust quite literally settled where Betty White's home once stood, her memory continued to echo through the lives of her fans worldwide. And while the Brentwood home may be gone, the impact of White's remarkable life remains vibrantly alive. And now, we'd love to see you in the comments. Do you think it is fair that the new owners demolished the home, since Betty White was aware, before her passing, that it would happen? Or should LA have stopped the destruction? This one is a bit tougher than our usual demolished videos, since it was quite clearly a deal between owner and buyer. And yet maybe some of you believe that it's still a part of Hollywood history that should be saved, no matter what. We look forward to hearing your thoughts, and thanks again for joining us for another episode of Old Money Mansions. Cheers, until next time.